Are you in the middle class? Looking to settle down, maybe buy a home? If so, keep watching. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the world according to Briggs. Let's take a look at the best states to be in the middle class. In case you didn't see the worst states for the middle class video, let me recap what is considered the middle class. Pew Research defines the middle class as people earning between 2/3 and double the median household income in the United States, which in 2019 was $61,000. This means that the category of middle income is made up of people making somewhere between $42,000 and $123,000 in 2019. Do you fall into the middle class? In the 1970s, 61% of the United States adults were living in the middle class. As of 2019, 50% of us are. The middle class is shrinking. The states on this list offer you the best chances to stay in the middle class or even move up and out of the middle class, the right direction, not down like in the last video. All right, let's take a look. Number 10, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is one of the top 5 states to raise a family. Year over year, it's always in the top 5. This entire state is sort of family orientated, and people never leave. Wisconsin has this strange thing where they are the state with the lowest percentage of born and raised residents migrating outwards. They just don't leave here. Wisconsin has a lot of good things going for it that makes people stay, and not all of them include cheese. The 5-year change in middle class income in Wisconsin is up 1%. That doesn't sound like a big deal, I get it, but keep in mind, some of the worst states declined 10 to almost 15%. The high school graduation rate in Wisconsin is 90%. Great place to, get an education. The in-state tuition fees are not that bad. The 2019 to 2020 year, it's about $9,000. Some states are above $15,000 just for a year of school. Number 9, South Carolina. South Carolina became the 8th state to ratify the U.S. Constitution on May 23, 1788. It also became the first state to vote in favor of secession from the Union on December 20, 1860. These days, it's a great place to be for the middle class. One thing about South Carolina in the last decade, it's become a place for opportunity. If you like the South, warm summers, and really nice beaches, South Carolina is a good choice. And if you've ever dreamed about the United States splitting in two again, they'll probably be the first state to greenlight the idea. The 5-year change in middle-class income households is up 3.67%. So they're gaining where a lot of states are either even or declining. The high school graduation rate here is 85%, solid, not bad. The median listing price for a home in South Carolina is $249,000, meaning you got to have roughly $50,000 for a down payment, your 20%. So that's not terrible. Homeownership in South Carolina is really high. It's like 75%, actually 74.1%. So it's pretty high compared to other states where it's barely 50%. Number 8, North Carolina. North Carolina was once combined with South Carolina to form a single territory, and it was also one of the original 13 colonies. It became the 12th state in 1879, and it also sent the most troops to fight in the Civil War, part of the Confederacy. And then later on, we decided to let them back in. That was 1868. North Carolina has always been a great state for the middle class or lower class. And they got NASCAR. Yeah, it's a thing. The Tar Heel State is a state that's expected to see a lot of growth post-pandemic, so we'll see how that one works out. The 5-year change in middle-class income households is 2%. It's raised 2%, that's good. High school graduation rate is 89%. Now, you could go to college here for pretty cheap. The in-state tuition for 2019-2020 is about $7,000. That's not bad. If you're looking to buy a home, the median home listing price is $275,000, which means your down payment's got to be somewhere around $55,000. Definitely not a bad place to live. Number 7, Ohio. Ohio, like so many other places in this part of the country, was first settled by French fur traders. It later became a British colony in 1754 after the French and Indian War. Great Britain gave Ohio to the U.S. after they got their butts handed to them in the Revolutionary War. So it's been handed around a little bit. The Buckeye State was incorporated into a territory in 1787, and Ohio became the 17th state in 1803, which kind of shocks me. I thought they were one of the early ones, but I guess I was totally wrong. I don't know how that one slipped by me. The 5-year change in middle-class income households is 1.2%, which is solid. Their high school graduation rate is better than I thought it was going to be. It's 86%. The in-state tuition is a little bit high, about $11,000, but you kind of get a sweet deal when it comes to housing. The median home listing price is $177,000. That's pretty low. The cost of your 20% mortgage down payment is going to be a little over $35,000. The average monthly mortgage payment in Ohio is $880. That's nice. Number 6, Arkansas. I've given Arkansas a hard time on a lot of videos in the past, mostly because the state, it's just wrecked with poverty in a lot of different areas. That may not be like a forever thing for Arkansas. Arkansas is showing some promise, and hardly anyone makes marrying your first cousin jokes anymore. If the northwest corner of Arkansas is any indication of the future of the natural state, things are looking a lot better. Fayetteville, Rogers, and Springdale are not acting like Arkansas cities. They have jobs, good schools, educated people, and hardworking people. The 5-year change in the middle-class income households is up just under 3%, which is solid, and Arkansas has a 90% graduation rate. That's phenomenal. You don't expect that from them. Their in-state tuition, only $9,000 a year. Now here's where they really shine. The median home listing price is just under $180,000. That's not bad. That means your down payment's got to be somewhere around $35,000, a little bit over. And the property tax is 0.63 in Arkansas. Yeah, like I said, it could be so much worse. Arkansas is looking better all the time. Number 5, Tennessee. At number 5, we have the volunteer state, Tennessee. If you stay out of Memphis, Tennessee is a solid choice for anyone looking to start a new life. You have Knoxville, Nashville, and Chattanooga to choose from, really, unless you go to a smaller town. I like Chattanooga. If you ever visit there, go to the Tennessee Aquarium. It's one of the best aquariums I've ever seen. Knoxville is probably a good place for families, and they got a lot of work there. If you're younger, maybe Nashville. Nashville always reminds me of where people end up because they didn't have enough gas to get all the way to Austin, Texas. But it's a solid place for the middle class. The 5-year change in middle class income households is 2.09%. That's good. High school graduation rate is 91%, and it costs about $10,000 a year to go to school there. The median home list price is $255,000, which means you need about $51,000 to slap down for that 20% mortgage down payment. All in all, Tennessee's starting to become a very popular place, and it's not just the upper class people that are looking to move here. Actually, they're not. It's middle class people. Number 4, Florida. And the Sunshine State makes it onto a list, and we're not even talking about hurricanes. That's amazing. Florida's a very interesting state to someone like me. I pore over stats about states and cities every frickin' day. They always seem to be on the list, for both good and bad. It's weird. So I could do 5 videos about positive stuff about states, and for some reason, more often than not, Florida seems like they're on that list. Then I can turn around and do 5 negative videos of different stats, and they always seem to be there too. They never seem to be in the middle. They, however, are a great place for the middle class. They have some great cities and a lot of good blue-collar jobs throughout the state. They also have solid middle-class stats. The 5-year change in middle-class income households has risen 1.7%. High school graduation rate isn't the best. It's only 82%, but, these days anything over 80 to me is a win. The in-state tuition and fees for 2019-2020 school year is only $6,300. That's amazing. The median home list price is about $300,000, $296,000. It's a little bit up there, and it's going to make your mortgage down payment around $60,000. But what gets them on the list is they're increasing, and it's dirt cheap to go to college there. In most cases, obviously private schools are going to be a little bit different, but the state ones are pretty cheap compared to other states. Number 3, Missouri. Missouri became a U.S. territory as part of the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, and a year later, Lewis and Clark rolled through St. Louis to explore the rest of what would soon be our country, and they were never seen or heard from again. Just kidding. They found the Pacific Ocean and were back like 2 years later. The Show Me State has always been a state that prides itself on hard work and being down to earth. This is an amazing state. Has a lot of good things going for it, especially the last couple of years. Things are getting better. Unless you're in St. Louis. Missouri is a great place for the middle class. This is a nice place to buy a home, send your kids to school, as long as, like I said, you're not doing that in St. Louis. The 5-year change on middle class income is 0.5% increase. So they're doing a little bit better, not as good as some of the other ones on here. Their high school graduation rate, again, 90%, which is solid. Tuition for a year is about $8,000. And then when it gets to housing, that's where they really shine. The median home list price is about $187,000, which means your mortgage down payment's going to be somewhere around $37,000. All in all, it's a good state, and things are looking good post-pandemic for the state of Missouri. Number 2, Mississippi. As you can imagine, I almost fell out of my chair when I realized Mississippi was on a positive video. I really shouldn't have been that surprised. Earlier this year, we came to find out that the Magnolia State has one of the top 5 education systems in the country. Yeah, it's a great place for middle class. That's one of the top things the middle class is looking for, good schools. That's why I keep bringing up how cheap it is to go to a university in some of these states. It's very important to the middle class. The 5-year change in middle class income households is 6.78%. That's, I think, the best on this list. It's phenomenal. They're actually gaining money. But, really, they were so low on the totem pole when it came to earnings, like for the last 20, 30 years. This isn't as big a step as it sounds. They're finally catching up with people. But it's still solid. The high school graduation rate is right about 91%. The in-state tuition for 2019 is about $8,500. Now, here's one of the finer points of Mississippi. It's got some of the cheapest real estate in the country. The median home list price is $185,000. That means you need right around $37,000 for your down payment, which is good. The average monthly mortgage payment in Mississippi is only $814, and home ownership rate is 73.7%. Good numbers. And number 1, Indiana. At number 1, we have the Hoosier State, Indiana. Indiana is leading the nation in manufacturing job growth right now. They have for the last 3 years. They have jobs and they're going to have more in the future. Just stay out of Indianapolis and you'll be fine. Try Fort Wayne. That's a city that's growing and slowly becoming a hotspot for blue-collar millennials. Yeah, they're all heading there. It's a great place for families. Indiana has some great stats. The 5-year change in middle-class income household is increased by 1.51%. Not the best on this list, but solid. Their high school graduation rate is 87%, and the in-state tuition is about $9,500. That's not bad at all. Now, some of the good things are the median home list price is about $190,000. That means you need roughly $38,000 for your down payment. The average monthly mortgage payment in Indiana is $833, and 73% of the population actually own their home. This is a great place for the middle class, especially in, post-pandemic days. It'll be phenomenal. All right, that's today's video. If you live in any of these states, tell us about your state. Leave it in the comment section below. We'd love to hear about it. Don't forget all the links below. Give the video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.